Hi, it's Andy, and today I'm coming to you with an original book tag by the lovely Lisa Does Life. So today I'm filming the rereading book tag by Lisa Does Life. I will tag her down below, her original video, and all the questions and things like that, or prompts rather than questions. But it is basically a book tag based on books you like to reread for certain prompt types. She explains it a lot better. I will tag her video down below. So I have pulled the books, I've got them right here where you can't see them, and I'm just going to go through the list and do the tag. Do the tag, Andy. So the first prompt is for a cozy reread, and there was a couple I considered for that, but I went with a Lisa special with this and went for Legends and Lattes. This really is just a cozy good time, and I absolutely loved this when I read it. It was just what I needed at the time when I read it. It was so calming and cozy. Really is the best way to do it. I'm not a fantasy reader. Like, I'm not, when you look at the fantasies that are on my shelves, they're not fantasy. This is like fantasy, but it's cozy fantasy, and it's just so warming. I could feel myself in the coffee shop and the smell and the atmosphere, and I just absolutely love this, and it really is just the coziest of books. I recommend it to everybody. Sorry for Hamish sneezing, he also recommends it apparently, and it's so nice. I'm going to cheat a little bit here and do a second one for a cozy reread, because this is the other one that I almost picked, is the Wayfarers series. Really, it's any of them, but this in particular, The Long Way to Smiling Bay Planet, you are just sitting with a crew on a ship. Like, there's nothing big happening, there's no big, there's no explosions or anything really that happens. It really is just cozy time on a ship in space with a crew, a multi-species crew, and I love it. It's so just relaxing. Literally nothing happens. Like, ask anybody, nothing happens in this book. Nothing happens in this book. It's purely you're sitting in and watching these. I love it. I love it so much. It reminds me so much of Firefly with the dynamics of the crew. Although the crew in this are multi-species, they are different aliens. Obviously, Firefly, everybody's human, but like, I've been thinking about this book since I read it. The next prompt is a fun reread, and again, I struggled with this, but eventually decided to go for The Martian by Andy Weir. If you have been around my channel for any sort of time, you'll know this is one of my favourite books of all time, hands down. I have annotated this book. I need to go back in with like tabs and pens, but I've annotated it in pencil, and I love this book. I love this book so much. I can't even tell you how much. This is a story about Mark Watney, who is just the funniest guy. He's in space, he's stuck on Mars, he thinks he's been left for dead, and he's just like, he goes through the same sort of thing that I do, and I've seen like memes about it as well, where he's like has this big temper tantrum, fuck this, fuck that. Okay, how do we proceed? Like, that is his whole thing, and he's just so funny. The jokes that he cracks, the way that he keeps the crew going, and the way that he keeps himself going, and the way he sort of, it's not necessarily breaking the fourth wall, because this is shown to you in sort of logs of speech. So it's him, log entries from the mission where he is talking to the camera, so it's like he's talking to you, and I just love it so much. This is so much fun. It's so funny. It is high stakes, but doesn't necessarily feel like high stakes because of the kind of person that Mark Watney is. And if you read this, your heart will be in your throat sometimes, but by God, will you have fun. And I will reread this and reread this until this copy falls apart. I've read this 6 times and I love it. The next prompt is a palette cleansing reread, and this again is one that I struggled with, because there's a few books that I will use as a palette cleanser, but I've used them in other, like The Martian I would also use, and another 2 on this list I would also use as a palette cleanser, but I have gone for Percy Jackson. So the entire Percy Jackson series, I'm currently rereading the entire Percy Jackson series, so I've just finished the Heroes of Olympus, and I have started The Sun and the Star, and next month we will be getting Percy Jackson and the Chalice of the Gods. I just love going back to these. They are middle grade, they are easy to take in, quick to read, fun to read. They are just, these are characters that you get to know, a found family, people that you root for, people that you learn to care for, watch them grow up. And I love the progression of these books. I love the way that it works, the way that Percy changes and doesn't change and adapts, and just I absolutely love this. So I will read these if I need a palate cleanse for something that's just like, it's been a bit too much. I will reread Percy Jackson because it just makes me feel better. The next is a series reread, and I really couldn't say any other book but this, and it is the Lindsay Sands Arjuna Rokantar series. This is the first one, A Quick Bite. There are 37, soon to be 38 books in this series, and I am obsessed. I love this series. I have reread the series a number of times, and I am currently rereading it again. Don't know what number I'm on, but I am making my way through it. I'm almost at the new, not quite at the new covers yet, but I'm making my way there. Absolutely love this series. Again, can I read these as a palate cleanser as well? That's why I struggled with this tag a little bit, because again, these are easy to read. These are sort of fated mate romances where you know things are going to end up, like, you know where things are going to end up, and it's great. I love it, and I love this series so much. This is my favourite series of all time. The next prompt is an emotional reread, and for this one I've kind of cheated and gone for 3 because I couldn't choose. These were like there are so many books I could have chosen for this because I get so emotional, but these are the ones that really like stayed with me. So the first one is Frostbite, specifically Frostbite from Vampire Academy. If you've read it, you know, and it's one of those books where even though you know what's coming, it still gets me every time. It destroys me every time. I love this series, and this particular book, there's just a bit in this book destroys me, absolutely destroys me, and anybody who's read it will probably say the same. So yeah, definitely emotional. The next one that I've chosen for this prompt is one that also destroys everybody it reads, and that is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is a story about World War II, about 2 sisters who are in France during the Nazi occupation, both dealing with it in their own way. One has a German officer housed with her, and she's having to deal with that, and the confliction of knowing that he's evil, but like he's nice to her, but she's also aware that if she's not nice to him, her family is forfeit. And it's a scary place to be, while also being judged by the people around you in your community for thinking that you're a corroborator or a collaborator, despite the fact that you know that it's this or death. Like, it's not a fun place to be. And then the other sister, who worked for the French resistance, helping people escape over the Alps into Spain, and she is eventually captured, and it is horrific, absolutely horrific, but so close to the bone. And this book again has haunted me since I first read it, and it just. And then there's Code Name Verity. Code Name Verity and Rose Under Fire are 2 books that Kay and I both read in the car. So we listened to Rose Under Fire. She was listening to Rose Under Fire while we were sharing the car, and she got the kind of aftermath of this. So Code Name Verity is about our main character who is captured and is being interviewed in a Nazi-occupied, I think it's Nazi-occupied France, and she's being interviewed as a prisoner of war, and she's a spy, but she tells the story of Queenie and Maddie, who are friends. Queenie is a spy, codename Verity, and Maddie is a pilot who transports Queenie back and forward to Nazi-occupied Europe, and it discusses their relationship and their lives, and specifically it's her telling Maddie's story, but this ending. Oh, I've not reread this in a while, and yet still, the ending, I cannot imagine. Like, I'm going to have to stop talking about it because I'm going to go. Okay, now that I've recovered from that a little bit, the next prompt is a comfort reread. And again, I could have gone The Martian, I could have gone Percy Jackson, I could have gone the Lindsay Sands series. These are all comfort rereads for me. But currently, my ultimate comfort read, say it with me, Heartstopper. This is my hardback edition, Warson's exclusive hardback edition of Heartstopper, and this is actually one of the books I will never actually read because these are my collector's editions. I will read my paperbacks and, you know, keep these, but Heartstopper is like the ultimate comfort read for me. If I'm having a really bad time and I need something to quickly just give me that boost of just heartfelt, just smoosh, then I will reread Heartstopper. And I don't just reread like one, I will reread the entire series because I love Heartstopper more than just about anything. I love Nick and Charlie, I love their relationship, I love the other characters. Tori, amazing, we stan, we love her. And yeah, just this is so heartfelt and so, I just cannot explain to you how much I love this and how much I think everybody should read this, because Alice Oseman has done a fantastic job, and it really does just bring a sense of comfort, especially when, you know, you feel lonely and alone. It's just amazing. So that is the prompt for Lisa's rereading tag. I'll pop them all down below, pop Lisa's video down below, and yeah, it is time to tag people. I'm not sure who to tag, because Lisa has tagged most people that have done this tag already. Or Lisa has tagged most people in a friend group that do videos to do this tag. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cop out and say, if you want to do this tag, then you can say I tagged you. If I can think of anybody that I want to tag, then I will tag you down below. But currently my brain power is at 0, and I'm really, really bad at thinking of people to tag, especially looking at the tags that Lisa has put on is probably a lot of the people that I would have tagged anyway, so yay! But yeah, thanks very much for watching this video. Everything's linked down in the description below, and please let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think of any of these books. If you just like some of my favourites, please don't tell me, because I am soft and I can't take criticism. But if you love them, please do interact with me, especially things like The Martian and Percy Jackson. Anybody, if you've read the Arjuna books, tell me. I need more people to talk to about it. If you're not read Heartstopper, go and do it. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!